Hello, welcome back to Huskers in Enemy Territory. Today I was going to talk about the Penn State Nittany Lions. In the 2020 campaign, the Nittany Lions went 4-5 overall and third in the Big Ten East, with wins over Michigan 27-17, Rutgers 23-7, Michigan State 39-24, and Illinois 56-21. Definitely overall a disappointing season for Penn State and head coach James Franklin, especially considering they went 6-5 in 2019. 6-5-1 in 2019. It's been kind of on a downtrend, it seems, for Penn State. Looking just at the statistics here, the last time they won 10 games was in 2016. So hopefully for the Penn State Nittany Lions, they'll be able to get on back on track and maybe get back to the 10 game winning area. Now transitioning to some of the strengths of the team overall. The offense has talent and depth. Sean Clifford is in his third season as a starter, and Dotson is one of the best wide receivers in the Big Ten. The defense looks to make up for all the miscues last year, especially after adding three experienced transfers in Arnold Ibuziki, defensive end. Bear with me with some of these names. Derek Tiangelo and cornerback Johnny Dixon. He's probably the easiest one to say right there. With the transfers of Dixon, this could potentially be the deepest group of corners Penn State has ever had. Don't quote me on that. Obviously, I'm a Husker fan, so if it's not considered the deepest, it looked as if they're pretty stacked at cornerback, considering the fact that they have, let's see, one returning starter and also a senior and a freshman. So, in my opinion, it could be the deepest. So, now on to the weaknesses. Adjusting to another offensive coordinator in 4 years might take some time. Also, having a new quarterbacks coach for the fifth year in a row definitely will hurt the team. The Lions are also thin behind Clifford, which could hurt the Lions if either Clifford gets hurt or if he struggles like last year. Clifford also needs to improve his accuracy and limit turnovers. That was kind of a big issue with him, especially when he played against Nebraska. I believe he threw like 2 or 3 picks and maybe even had a fumble against the Huskers, and they ended up putting in the backup quarterback during that game, which they almost came back and won, which was kind of crazy. I didn't like that at all, but that's beside the point. Now, if he does, or if he is able to prevent some of those things, I believe that the Lions will improve a lot. The Lions also gave up the most sacks in the Big Ten last year. Penn State also needs to have the defensive line improve, considering losing both defensive ends last year for the end of the draft. But they did pick up a defensive tackle, I believe, via transfer from Temple. Now, if you're enjoying the content, consider a like. Leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think the Penn State Nittany Lions season will look like for next year. Maybe record predictions and maybe anything that you might want to add to this video just to kind of garner up some discussion on the channel. Also, consider a subscription. It's free and it helps the channel grow. Now back to my record prediction. My ceiling for the Nittany Lions, I have them at 8-4 with loss to Wisconsin, win at Ball State, loss to Auburn, win at Villanova, win at Indiana, loss at Iowa, win in Illinois, loss to Ohio State, win at Maryland, win at Michigan, win at Rutgers, and win at Michigan State. For my floor, I have them going 6-6. I'm not going to really go into detail on who they lose and win against on that, but I do feel like they could be anywhere in the 8-4 or 9-3 maybe max for ceiling, and I do believe that their floor is probably the 6-6 range. Now, getting into the fans' strength and weaknesses and record prediction. This guy, I follow him on Twitter. His name's Aaron Pearson, and this is what he says. Strengths, running back and defensive backs, which I agree. Weaknesses, quarterback depth, linebacker depth, and defensive line depth, especially on the edge. And I already pointed that out. Let's see. Can Urich help the offensive line or offense take a next step? Who emerges as the third wide receiver? Who will be that safety next to Brisker? And will the offensive line take a step forward? Let's see. His record, he thinks the floor will be 8-4 and ceiling is 11-1. He thinks overall, most likely 10-2 overall. Last decade versus Iowa and Wisconsin lean heavily in favor of Penn State, and we get Auburn and Michigan at home, so that's pretty good for them. And that's about it for them. He just reiterates that he thinks 10-2 might be possible, but maybe 9-3 could be a record for them. Now moving on to another friend of mine. Oops. Let's go back and go to Blue and White. He's been a friend of mine on here for a while, so I wanted to get his little bit of an opinion from him as well. Let's see. He says that bear with me. He has them Penn State going 10-2, but also could easily see 9-3. Strengths could be tight end and running back. For sure, offensively. Defensively, they have one of the better secondaries in the Big Ten, in his opinion. D-line will be the question mark moving forward for the defense. Clifford is also a huge question mark for the offense. New offensive coordinator, and what Clifford are they going to get? He's kind of reminds me of Adrian Martinez in a way. He's kind of like that hot and cold kind of guy. So it just depends on what type of player you're getting on one specific day, you know what I mean? He says, do you get a 10-win Clifford, or do we get the Clifford that started 0-5 last year? Obviously, he's talking about Penn State. He does think that Clifford will be better next year. And he just goes along, talking about some of the records that some other Penn State fans have said on Twitter, that he's noticed. He does feel like the 11-1 might be a little delusional. He feels like that overall they're probably going to be 9-3. So I think my prediction for Penn State's pretty rock solid. Not too far off of what Penn State fans feel like. 8-4, 9-3. It just depends on what type of team you're getting on any given day. So With that being said, I appreciate everyone watching the video. It was really fun, kind of doing a deep dive into Penn State, and I am really enjoying looking into a lot of these teams, especially the ones in the Big Ten. It kind of allows me to like look into a different team other than the Cornhuskers, and helps me figure out maybe what the Cornhuskers will do against some of these teams this upcoming season too. You know, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do for Monday's video. Maybe I can field some questions on Twitter and Facebook to kind of help me out. But I am pondering doing a deep dive into maybe like the Green Bay Packers or Detroit Lions or even the Chicago Bears, especially since I'm finished with my season preview videos for the Cornhuskers versus whatever team they're playing during the year. No real notes of concern or whatever, other than the fact that I feel like I'm like maybe one more week away from getting my official camera for the channel. I deposited some money into my account, so hopefully soon I'll be able to get that, and I'll be able to stop filming on my cell phone. Though it has helped, I think. Um, Nothing wrong with filming on your cell phone. Everyone starts at, a certain spot in life. So you just kind of do what you can with what you can, you know what I mean, or with what you have, right? So everything takes time. Everyone doesn't start at the same spot. So that's kind of my spiel on that. Not all YouTube channels start off with a huge, uh, the latest gear, you know what I mean? Like the best computers, the best cameras, the best, microphones and whatnot. So you just got to build yourself up, and then eventually, maybe you have a channel like, what's his name, the Beast or whatever his name is, or some of these other channels where you have people helping you develop videos and I don't know, push out merch, right? So I don't know why I went on that spiel, but it's just something I've kind of thought about. So again, thank you for all the new subscribers on my channel. Like I said, probably do a deep dive in one of the NFC North teams on Monday. But I hope you all have a great 4th of July weekend. Stay safe, and as always, go Big Red.